Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Between Two Flags. I'm your host, Mike Nash, and we are here at the Impact to Hero Post-Traumatic Growth Library. This is my good friend, Kevin Woods. Kevin is a Navy veteran. He has a couple of deployments under his belt, and he is I don't want to say on the first, but the most impressive so far person that we have working through our Mentorship development program, and we want to talk a little bit about that today. Thank you so much for being here, Kevin.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
So you left active duty, I think it was in 2012.
Yeah.
And, here we are a handful of years later. I've known you for just a couple of years, and you have grown so much in the short amount of time that I've known you. But can you bring us up to speed, kind of what happened in your life between leaving the Navy in 2012 and meeting me, last year?
Well, it started with drinking like a sailor, I guess. Yes, you could say. I started self-medicating a lot with alcohol, and
why was that?
I started missing the camaraderie. I missed having that purpose in life, the serving of others, mm-hmm. and I lost that happiness. So I started self-medicating to the point where it landed me in jail.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that's when I decided that my life needed to change. And right after that's when I introduced an Impact to Hero, and it's all up from there.
So you had a rude awakening. So you went from enjoying your time in the Navy, and you left, and now you're no longer a valued member of a team. Did you just regret your choice of getting out? Was it not your choice? How did that happen to where it have such a swift difference between, okay, I'm done with the Navy and now I'm sad that I'm not in it?
It got to the point, I guess it was a young and dumb decision. I loved my job with a passion. The job I had, I wasn't guaranteed to have when I went back to a ship after I completed my shore duty. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that young and dumb. If I don't have this guaranteed option of having my job again, mm-hmm. then I might as well get out and chase money, because we both know that military isn't the highest job.
Most of us aren't serving our country because we think we're going to get rich doing it.
Yeah. And I wanted to have a family, and I didn't think all the deployments and stuff like that
Sure.
was a good way to raise a family.
So you made a decision, and you left, and then you were maybe struggling with that decision, and it led you down the wrong path.
A very dark road.
Dark road.
Yeah.
Did that? I know you. Tell me, did it have much to do with your work, or was it your environment, or who you're spending time with? Did any of that add into what you call your self-medication?
I think it was who I was associating with. People I was associating with wasn't bad people, just wasn't good for myself. It led me. It just put fuel on the fire. Sure. I guess you can say. Work. I had the money. I had a lot of money, but it wasn't that purpose
Sure.
that I had before.
Okay.
And it just pushed me farther and farther down the dark road.
Well, we'll make a kind of a quick fast forward. We'll jump to now you're getting involved in the veteran community here in Houston, and you're growing a network. You're getting to know lots of people, and you find Impact to Hero, and you learn our focus is this personal and professional development. What connected you? Why was that important? Is it because you had just kind of maybe hit rock bottom in a way and you felt that you needed to grow? Or was there something else that maybe, made that connection?
Well, when I first got out, I didn't really know there was a veteran community. It's not one of those things that's discussed when you get out. When mm-hmm. you get out, in many ways, it seems like you're just swept out the door.
Sure.
And then we came across the Ant and the Elephant speech that you gave, and it kind of, I was at that point where I needed that change. I knew I needed to be that change, and learning that your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy mm-hmm. kind of got my spark.
So it's interesting. So one of the things that was the catalyst for your change was me speaking about a book that I had read, and I shared it with you. The book you're referencing here is The Ant and the Elephant. I have it here. Here is actually a copy of it in the Post-Traumatic Growth Library. And the short version of the story is your subconscious mind. A lot of people think your conscious mind is like the top of the iceberg, and your subconscious mind is like the bottom of the iceberg in comparison of capability and but that's not even close, is it?
No, Not at all.
In the book, they compare your conscious mind to an ant, which is also, I mean, very incredibly powerful. But your subconscious mind, the power of it is the elephant. So that just really connect with you on a really, special kind of way, or was it just this idea of your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and then you wanted to grow? What happened there after reading that book?
It got to a point, or it got me to think about how can I really lead myself to be that change? Like they mentioned the ant, is always frustrated, wants to go that way, but not thinking about the elephant, which is leading. You have to learn to be the elephant in an ant's world, I guess you can guess to say. And once I started getting that click, I knew I needed to train my mind to be what I want it to be and to get me where I want it to be in life.
Okay. So that kind of brought us together and started this mentorship development program and plan and mentorship, lots of books. I think it was, 2017? How many books did you read?
None.
None. Zero books in 2017.
Nothing.
And 2018, how many books?
I think it got to 28 or 29.
28 or 29 books. I remember my first year of really getting into this stuff. I was trying to get one a month, and I couldn't even do it. I had like 8 or 9 for a couple of years in a row before I cracked a dozen. And your first year of diving into this personal growth space, and you read more than, or 2 books a month and then some.
Yeah, it was an intriguing process of the learning different aspects of your life. Another book was The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, where he talks about updating your system just like you do, your apps or your cell phone. That software needs updated, so does yourself, and how to live outside the rules and that culture scape of what is where I grew up at. You got out of high school and you went into the Plains. I mean, that's where you went. That's where the money was at, so that's where you're supposed to go. Made my dad a promise when I left I was never going to end up there, but I went in there and I got out of there pretty quickly. You just got to get out of that, what others think.
So that's a couple of books already that are definitely in my some of my favorites. What happened to you during this journey of personal growth, of reading all of these books, 20 something plus books? I mean, I'm sure you've got a handful in there that are your favorites that made the most impact, but how have these books and being connected with Impact to Hero and doing this coaching, how has it helped shape your life in the last year?
I mean, it's unbelievable where I'm at now. I think all the time about where I was and where I would be if I would have continued down that path, where I would either be in jail or dead. I mean, I've had 3 different suicide attempts where, I was down that dark road, and that DUI saved my life. Many people won't see that as a blessing, but it got me into the personal growth aspect, and it changed my mindset on everything in life. The way I view crappy weather outside, the way someone looks at me wrong, I'm able to walk away and know that my mind is what I think. I don't care what you think about me. It's done phenomenal work that you can't even put into words sometimes.
Well, I have enjoyed so much coaching and mentoring you and recommending books. And most of what that's done is I have a rule that, prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. So I don't prescribe a book. I'll say, you should read this book. It was really powerful. I want to know what's going on in your life before I recommend what you should read next.
Chase one, follow one, lead one.
Say that again and help explain what you're talking about there.
So I guess there's many ways to say it. You can chase one, follow one, lead one. I heard in church the other day to be, what was it again?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
A disciple. Edit that part out. We'll start back over. I forgot what the path.
Well, you think about that one. You've told it to me. I like the idea. We're both golfers. Using the golf analogy, I like to talk about the perfect foursome as kind of a coaching mentorship relationship. Is if I am in the perfect foursome for me, I'm playing with a golfer who's definitely better than me, that I can learn from, that can coach and mentor me, pick things out in my swing, saying, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that, maybe you should try this. And then I need to play with somebody who's about my level, maybe a little bit better, that we can be competitive. We can, chase each other, challenge each other a little bit. And then the fourth person would be someone who's not quite as good of a golfer as me, that I can help coach and mentor, because they might not be ready for what, my coach and mentor has to offer, but I can add some value. So I think it's the same kind of thing. You're a disciple for someone else, you're leading somebody other. And I think it just is that same kind of concept. Is that the same thing you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, it's all about that circle. And I mean, I've read many times that you are who you surround yourself with. And that's one thing that I've noticed here in my journey is you got to get rid of that negativity. That negativity is going to do nothing but weigh you down. Once you can still associate with those people. They can still be your friends, but you got to have that family. And family is not always blood. So I suggest to run with my family and have my friends. When I see them, I see them. If I don't. You got to have your family around more.
One of the things that you can do probably better than a lot of other people is you've been in such those deep, dark places. You hit rock bottom, at least from your perspective. What kind of advice do you have for people who are struggling right now, who might be listening to this and they're in a bad place and they might want to give up? What do you want to say to them?
I see it as whenever, like a cloudy day, if you look outside and you look up and it's all cloudy, it's gloomy. That's all you see. You don't see those beautiful blue skies. That's on the other side of them. And and you fail to realize it because you're just focused on that. In life, you're going to have those gloomy days, and that's all you're going to see are those clouds, and you're not realizing what's on the other side of that. So once you start getting that style analogy in your head and you're going through a dark time, just know that there's that beautiful blue sky on the other end, and not to quit. Quits for the weekend. I got really weak at a couple times. I realized you got to be strong and keep your mind set and let it be your best friend and not your worst enemy.
That's
and
good.
Things happen to you, or things happen for you, not to you.
I admire that quote.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's really fantastic advice. And then we've just talked at length about the importance of your network and who you spend time with. Maybe a little bit of advice on that. I know all these guys give great advice on your network and who you spend time with. Anything you want to share on that note?
Just sit back and think about how you are around certain people. Some people you're gonna strive to keep doing better. You're gonna have conversations such as this, or you're gonna just be out partying and them calling you, "Hey, let's go drink. Who do you want to associate with? Do you want to associate with someone that's better than you, or someone that's going to bring you down and leave you in that rut? Like I said, family's not always blood. Family's closer to you than anyone else. And make sure your family's around. And when you see your friends, your acquaintances, you can still be nice to them and you're still friends with them, but associate with family instead of friends.
I like that. That's good stuff. Well, I know that we're going to have lots more conversations about this topic and many others. I look forward to you becoming a coach and a mentor in Impact to Hero. I know you have read more books than anybody else in our program up to this point, and we got a few people chasing you. But I love that you've kind of taken ownership of your self-directed education. I can give some ideas and some examples of what book you might read next, but I love that you've owned that now and you're on that path, and that's very encouraging to me. And I know you're going to make a difference in the lives of not just veterans, that are connected with Impact to Hero, but with people that you meet and all throughout your life. So I'm proud to know you. I'm so glad that you are going through the program, and we are all better for it. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you so much for joining us again for Between Two Flags. We are going to keep doing these episodes. If you have some ideas on some things that you want to hear, that you want us to talk about, please let us know. You can reach us through Impact to Hero's website. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, all at Impact to Hero. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon, and don't forget, choose growth.